I didn't even want to make this video. What's going on, y'all? GemMint here, and today we're going to react to XM Studios' latest mutant, the 1/4 scale Magneto. Now, the reason why I say I didn't want to make this video, because it feels like with each new XM Studios release, I'm making a video talking about how I'm not into it and how I don't like it. But I would argue that it's really just because XM Studios tends to put out more pieces than other companies, so naturally, they're going to have a little bit more misses than others. And spoiler alert, I think this one is a miss. We're going to go ahead and react to the pictures. We'll look at the specs and the price as we always do, so let's jump into it. Now, first of all, it's titled the Dawn of X statue. It's supposed to be based out of the whole Hoxpox, House of X, Powers of 10, Dawn of X, Reign of X series, which is currently ongoing now with Marvel Comics. I've seen a lot of people question why he isn't in the white costume if that's the case, and I would remind people that they did do a white costume Magneto statue, which was really pretty dope. I did a review on it a few years back. It had that kind of 3D missile effect. I was really into that piece. This one is of a similar nature. This one retails almost 1,500 Singapore dollars, which translates to about 1,050 USD, has a max edition size of 599, which I always say kind of offsets the higher price point that XM Studios has compared to some other companies who do quarter scale pieces. But besides all that, is the statue good? Let's take a look at the first picture. So this one, he's kind of got a floating little piece of mechanics going on there with a flower coming up out of it. Nice touch. It kind of deals with the whole Krakoa thing. They grow 3 different types of plants, which they sell to the rest of the world as medicine. So it ties into comic book lore, which I like. Don't really like it in a statue. Not really digging it. From this picture though, I do kind of like the mask. The mask looks pretty sinister and it has a nice shadow that it casts across his face. Moving to the next picture, we can see a little bit more of the base and the cape. I kind of like the cape because it's not like a big wide flowing cape like you typically see with statues. It's kind of moving in a S type of motion, similar to the destroyed Sentinel to his left. Here's another angle. Nice lighting, man. They got the dark shadow in the front, the red light in the back. He's holding out again that piece of whatever it is, Sentinel, with the flower growing out of it. It looks all right. My big complaint with this so far is that Magneto looks a little stiff, right? It doesn't look like a natural pose. Here's a switch out with him in an unmasked portrait. From that angle, it looks okay. Here's from a more frontal angle. Now the base, I don't know, it's a little uninspired. It feels very similar to the Sideshow Magneto quarter scale piece, although I think I do like this one a little bit better than that. It's coming up to the left of him, kind of makes it look like he's coming through one of the Krakoan portals, although it's just this destroyed Sentinel. Now this switch out I kind of like, him holding his mask down to the right. I think that looks pretty good. This one looks super awkward. This pose where it looks like he's mid-strut walking forward, his right arm feels so oversized and bulging while it's moving forward, and then his left hand cocked back like that. It just doesn't look like a natural pose to me. And then you have the other switch out option with the right arm kind of lazily lifting upward. It doesn't look like he's really trying. There's no expression in his face. I don't know, it feels a little lackluster in pose with those 2 right arm switch outs. If I think about it, I do kind of like the comic book inspired flower coming out of the Sentinel, and I do like him holding his mask, but how many people are going to have an unmasked Magneto displayed? Here's a close-up of the mask. I like how they have the whited out eyes. You can see the stubble on the chin and on his face. I think that looks great. Here's from another angle. Again, the costume. I mean, we've seen this design. We've seen many Magneto statues, and I just feel like this isn't one that you would get out of all the other options, licensed or unlicensed. Here's another look at him again with that right hand looking forward. Just feels boring, right? I'm not really digging that. I do like how he's holding his cape with his left hand. Actually, I couldn't really tell that from the other angle, but holding his cape, that's a good look. We've seen Prime 1 Studio do that a lot lately with their Batman pieces. Here's a little look angle down with that right arm up. A closer look at the base. I mean, we've seen destroyed Sentinel bases a million times now. It really looks a lot like that Sideshow one. It has a similar color palette with the kind of skin tone of the face, and then you have the destroyed metal with the purple and the grays. It looks like a shredded up destroyed Sentinel base. Here's Magneto's feet as he's moving forward. It looks like he's raising up pieces of metal so that he can walk. You can see the detail in the costume, whether it's the line work or the textured areas, those purple boots moving upward. And then here's a closer look at him gripping on his cape. So I do like that. I like the cape on this piece. I like how his arm is holding it. Here's his right arm when it's faced down, and you can see his gauntlet and his purple gloves. Another close up with the right arm switch out, which again, not really a fan of. And then here's here's a close-up of the flower. I don't really see a lot of collectors displaying it with this pose, to be honest, but I thought it was a decent enough new concept. And then the right arm holding the mask down. I mean, I think that's the best one. Here you have his face. Doesn't really have any expression to it, but it kind of looks like he's confident as he's strutting through this destroyed Sentinel that he just seemingly recently destroyed. Another angle with the unmasked portrait, showing how you can do both. You can do the helmet, or you could do the unmasked portrait with this switch out with the Sentinel and flower. Him walking up out of the Sentinel, you can see that a little bit better from this angle. So what do you have? His hand faced downward, as in this picture, with the flower, holding his helmet and with his arm outstretched. So 4 different arm switch outs, and looks like 2 portrait switch outs. Here's the back of the cape. The cape looks great. I really like the flow of motion there. Another one with the arm stretched out. Again, great presentation with the photography there. The base, you know, at first I thought I didn't really like it, but it kind of grew on me. It looks like he's coming out of a Stargate or a portal or something like that. All right, so here are the dimensions. We can see it in this last picture. 62 centimeters tall, which makes it about 24.5 inches tall. 47 inches deep, which is about 18.5 inches, and then its width is just 40 centimeters, which is about 15, almost 16 inches. So pretty decent footprint. Here's what it looks like in all its glory. And again, that right arm switch out with the arm facing down, that ain't it. I mean, I know he's ripped in 90s comics and things of that nature, but that arm looks like a freaking bodybuilder arm. It looks insane. I gotta let you know that we are in the final order cutoff for Ninja Funk. That's right, Whatnot Publishing's first comic book by my good friend JPG. Make sure to tell your local comic shop to order Ninja Funk. It comes out on November 2nd, but the final order cutoff is October 10th. With that being said, I love XM Studios. I'm a big fan of a lot of their pieces. I just am not a fan of this one. I think that their collaboration with Legendary Beast for their 1/3 scale Magneto is the Magneto statue to own. Otherwise, I think they did a much better job on the white suit Magneto and Magneto on the throne, which was a groundbreaking piece. This one, I'm just not really that into. Let me know what you guys think about the new Magneto Dawn of X in the comments down below. I appreciate you watching, and stay minty fresh. Peace.
DJ Link.